Right, let's now move north up to the KZN coast. Our senior reporter, Dasen Thathiah, is monitoring the situation there. Dasen, I believe that the farms are also not being left out of this.
Exactly, Maseko. You know, when we've been talking about these protests previously, we've mostly been focusing on that road behind me, which is the N2 freeway, and we've been talking about the importance of that. But now, what many people who know KZN well would also know is that just adjacent to that highway are also lots of farms. And where we are now, around Empangeni, is one of the major farming areas on the KZN north coast. As you mentioned, they have also not been left out of the damage that has been caused by these protests that we've seen on the highway. Look at this behind me. This is one of the sugarcane plantations that has been set alight. It's one of several fires that have been reported in this area amid the KZN shutdown protests. We understand it to have taken place in a similar way in many of the areas. Those that are causing these fires are driving into the sugarcane field, setting the sugarcane alight somewhere in the middle of that field, and then driving out. And that is a way where maximum damage is being caused. I did manage to get one of the security officers that responded to this fire yesterday, and he joins me now. He didn't want to be identified, but I'll just ask him for some of the details around what happened yesterday. So you came out to this fire that or rather this area that we're looking at now because of the fire. What transpired, and how did you come to know that this area was under attack?
No, there's a guy who was phoning us, he's working on a garage engineer. He said he saw the smoke, it's coming out on the sugarcane. Then they're suspecting that maybe these guys they're burning the sugarcane. Then we drove in here. When we came here, we saw the fire was there on the road, but it was just a small fire. Then we drove around to the other section. Then we saw the fire was in the middle of the sugarcane. It was a big fire there. So these guys shows that they went inside through, then they put the fire and they just work out and they ran away because we didn't saw anyone along the road.
You also told me that this was only one of a few fires that you had been responding to over the past few days since these protests started. Just tell me about how many you've counted around the area that you're working in.
When I'm counted in total, it's about 6, because on Friday we are attending, it's about 5 on Friday. Because on Friday it was a Brightback, was Getbed, and UVS, and Tanzania, and Niue. All those farmers was get banned on the sugarcane. Yes.
What are you doing as security during this time, especially when we know that there have been a lot of protests that have been taking place just nearby here?
All the time we just come here to secure these farmers and also to hit away these protests, because all the time when they came, they just keep destroying each and every time, everything that is so inside here.
Thank you very much for your time, Maseko. That's just one of the security officers talking about just this specific area that we're in. Now, bear in mind that this is quite a large area to manage and to police. So there are lots of teams just like this one that are covering these areas. And in total, there have been over, just having spoken to other security officers, there have been over 30 fires that have taken place here since Friday night. So farmers are certainly now banding together to keep a watch on their crop, because as we've seen from messages that, you know, these protests are set to intensify over the next few days.